What's going on, everybody? Hit that subscribe and let's get into it. All right, look, first things first, it's finally happening. You might be wondering what's happening. What's this that you're talking about? And you're curious. Look, I'm going to tell you straight up. This is what's happening. That James Gunn is coming out with the excuses. And along with that, the memes are fulfilling. And we'll talk about that right now. All right, look, James Gunn is coming out and he's back on the spotlight. As always, he has something to say. And every time he says something, it's not for the good. It's pretty much for the worse. And I am not surprised because now James Gunn is saying that nobody cares anymore about superhero crossovers. Look, let's be real. People still care about superheroes in these movies. Nobody cares about James Gunn and his vision here at WB. I've been calling it and predicting for a while, since the beginning, that this was going to happen. And this article is coming from The Wrap. And not only that, articles from Variety are calling out Rotten Tomatoes because they're not even putting up their videos and they're not putting their reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, of course, is owned by WB. So they're, of course, going to cater to the shills. And if you're not bending the knee, they're going to try to silence you and not let you go ahead and express your opinion. This is the problem with all these fake media outlets. And seeing what James Gunn's saying, that nobody cares anymore, look, that's the biggest bullcrap, honestly. People still care. People want good quality. And James Gunn is not delivering. I predicted and I told you, as we get closer to the release of Superman, this was going to happen. And everything has been happening. It's been taking place. And it's wild. Since the beginning, everything has been a meme. And not only that, everything has been an excuse. And you can see all these fake, reviews that people are talking about and trying to praise Superman. A lot of people are not happy and they know it. This is why you see that they're taxing on tickets for Superman. What, $30 a piece, more or less, in some areas and stuff. And people are not buying it. That's crazy. And then James Gunn comes out as always that he's saying that, I don't believe in superhero fatigue. He just thinks that these movies are just mediocre. And look, let's be honest. It's not that they're just like that. It's just James Gunn, you don't know how to cook. Accept the reality. You don't have the following. You don't have the fans. You try so hard to be like Zack Snyder and you'll never be like Zack Snyder. And because of that, this is why this movie is the way it is. It's a complete disaster. Look, people that went out and saw probably the first, viewings that they had, I can only imagine what WB saw in the first cut. And they said, no, this is not coming out. We have to remove 30 minutes from what they've been saying. I can only imagine how bad that was. And then the second one, because we've heard that there were multiple screenings for this movie. And then now, this is the final product. And I predicted and I told you, it doesn't matter. James Gunn goes back to the studio and he tries to edit and try to add or remove. It's done. It's completely dead on arrival. That's it. There's no saving it. The damage is done. David Zaslav, Peter Safran, James Gunn, WB, they're all on panic mode right now. And those executives, shareholders, stock investors must be pissed. Because I know if I was one of them, if I was on the board, I would be pissed. I would be furious knowing that this is going to tank also. And now they're trying to compare it and saying that it's making the numbers just, if not worse, than Shazam. Wow, that is bad. This is why I'm telling you. Accept that, you James Gunn cultists, you have always and will always be the minority. The Snyder fans have always and will always be the majority. This is why it triggers you when you have people like me coming out talking and saying the truth, spitting these facts, and you can't silence us because it irritates you. And I get it. You're still bitter and you're still coping and you still can't accept the reality that we stopped at nothing and we have the Snyder cut. Think about that. Let that marinate and sink in. We won with the Snyder cut and we're winning again with the flop of Superman. This movie is dead on arrival. It's done. Accept the fact. Movie theaters are not filling up. And if you don't believe me, here's the picture. Like I said, the memes are fulfilling. And this is happening. Nobody's buying tickets to this movie. A few people are buying it, but not enough. And look, you have it. This is actual picture coming in of people watching the movie. You can't fake this. This is not AI. This is legit. This is why you see that they're desperate, trying to promote this movie every way, shape, and form. But there's no saving it. WB, DC, you need to listen up. You seriously need to fire James Gunn. You need to cancel all of your next IPs with the DCU, because the DCU is done. It's over before it even starts. Accept the fact and cope. Restore the Snyderverse. We will stop at nothing. And this is how powerful we are. We made this possible. Hit that subscribe, drop your comments, and until next time.